Welcome to this presentation. All science of today needs a new theoretical foundation, not at least medicine. And why? Because the science of medicine deals with challenging problems, such as the cause of cancer is not known, the cause of neurodegenerative disease is not known, and structures at the level of 2 to 20 nanometer are not concretely known. So it might be difficult to find solutions for diseases as cancer and neurodegenerative diseases if we do not understand the most basic structures within the human body. So we have to question the mechanism of integrin, ATP synthase, etc. And we need to find an alternative explanation. Because it is obvious that we don't know the cause of these difficult diseases. So to move forward in the same direction is not, we need to look to left and right, up and down. I did start with 5 new concepts understanding reality of medicine. And they are rather simple, but they are the mass, the flow, relation, transformer, and shape. And basically, there are 3 dominant stipulated postulated, which I use. Nothing exists in isolation, everything exists in relations. Movement is a property of reality. And every concept has to represent reality directly and concretely. Then the concept relation relates to reality by showing that there are relations between all parts in reality, where A, B, C are any system, subsystem, such as molecules, cells, organs, species. The relation R is a flow. You can call it a wave of packages P1 to N, dealing with the protein, fats, polysaccharides between A, B, C in any field of reality. And then we can formulate the principle X equal ARB, where X is inflammation and disease, A and B are systems, and R is the relation between them. Now I have used this formula. It's not an equation, it is a formula, I will say, or a principle. I have used this for the entire investigation of the human body, such as ATP synthase, sodium-potassium pump, inflammation, disease. I followed it consistently and consequently. Now we are going more in detail. S is then a complex of relation between all parts or elements in the system. That is, ABC are complex system which send or receive flows of packages. You can see R is the sum of P1, P2, P3. Now we have to identify this formula or this logic, I can call it the logic of relation. And then we go one step further. We can see S equal A P1 to N B. So based on the postulates and the principle, we can summarize the system S for the human body H as SH equal ARB, not infinity but almost. So the system of the human body, you understand the different parts of the human body. The skeletal system, muscular, nervous, etc. So we can then start to create a more detailed formula, and you please read this carefully and slowly. Then you can see last sentence, SH equal parenthesis ARB and infinitive, not infinitive. It is an end. You can see different parts of the system and relation between them, and this is the entire human body based on the principle of relations. You can have this overview. It's a network of flows all over, between and inside all systems. Then another important concept is a transformer, because when masses are moving around in the body, they are transformed by a transformer. Transformer consists of three parts: pathway, flows, and infrastructure. And together, because they are woven and interconnected together, you can see it like this image. Masses from the left go through the transformer, and out will come new cells. And this is, the principle of relation claims that DNA is an infrastructure. That is the mechanism which directs and leads packages of molecules. DNA is a transformer transforming masses. And now, and this is very important, because we are told that randomness it lies behind the change of the DNA. This is not randomness, because it is the impact from the nature and the surrounding environment. So when the content or flow changes, it changes DNA continuously and carefully, step by step. If there are damaged content within the flow, then there will be a problem. But if it's smoothly and nicely during hundreds of years, then DNA will change as a consequence of a changed environment. And this is the opposite what we think today. Here you can study in detail, because the principle of relation can be applied to nature, to universe, to species, to the human body, and to international relations. You can stop here and study it slowly. Now some medical example of this principle. Alzheimer's disease, for example. When microtubules are damaged and cannot perform intracellular transport of material, huge amounts of amyloid beta will be crowded outside the cell, and neurofibrillary tangles of tau proteins will occur inside the cell. It is then a damaged flow. It could be the gate to the cell, but then we need to find out. So there is also a possibility to find cure. Rheumatism, you can read it yourself. Stroke, diplopia, double vision, I have had it myself. When thrombosis in the brain stem damage the flow of blood and draining blood from the brain, visual symptoms like double vision will occur. AV block 3, so to say, but I also have this, so I have a pacemaker. And it is the relation between the SA node and the AV node. So it is blocked. There is no communication. And then you will faint in the best case and die in the worst case. But then you need to have this pacemaker, a Swedish innovation, sorry. Then we can go further on, heart infarct, neurodegenerative diseases. You can study it yourself. Cancer. I have had a testicle cancer, so I know what I'm talking about a little bit. And these days, sorry to say, but I have pancreas cancer with metastasis, so I really want to understand why cancer occurs. And my hypothesis is that when flows of any network of tubules are damaged, it will cause cancer. And you can suicide. I mean, if you are living alone, isolated, solitude, with no or almost none relation to other persons, it is close to suicide. And you can see consciousness is, for me, very interesting to find this new explanation. So there are two dominating theoretical bases for understanding the mechanism of cancer. These days, the architecture of the genome is understood as explaining how cancer occurs. And science focuses on genes as the cause of cancer. I call it a bottom-up approach, from the smallest particle, smallest level, and then to the higher level, bottom. That's why I call it bottom-up approach. The hypothesis in the book I mentioned in the start introduces damage flows to be the cause of cancer. So it is top-down approach. These two approaches dispute, and yes, let's take next step. Here's an overview. Then you can see the gate is closed. What happened with the flow, with the content? I mean, the cell will get crazy if the flow of nutrition is stopped. And how will it then act? It will kill anyone to get food. And so when any flow is broken or damaged, there will be disorders and diseases. If damaged flows continue not being repaired, disease will be chronic. That is, when any flow is broken and damaged, there will be disorders and diseases such as cancer, AB block 3, stroke, Alzheimer's, and cardiac infarction. It sounds maybe crazy that there could be the same reason for different diseases. I mean, to find out the lowest common denominator of diseases. But I think we should start with this theory that one principle lies behind how human body function. Of course, in these separate different cases, there are different content in the flow, so then it's not the same at the application, detail of the application, but the principle could still be the same. So here we can see breast cancer, brain cancer, testicle cancer. And yes, you can stop here and you can read it yourself. And if you read my book, you will find it very much more in detail. There are really different details for each application, but still the formula X equal ARB lies behind. At least it is a good start, because then maybe I know for sure that people will call me crazy. This is a new Bible. It's not calling God, it's calling the principle of relation. But please give it a try. Try to understand this, and then maybe you come out with some new angles of this formula I launched now. So it could be a very interesting cross-fertilization. The logistic system and its flows within the cell. The most important parts and concepts are cytoskeleton, microtubules, microfilaments, intermediate filaments, axonal transport, and integrin. Integrin is a very important concept and mechanism. It connects the cytoskeleton and the extracellular matrix. So based on ARB, damaged flows create cancer, and if the integrin does not function, it can be one possible cause for cancer. And this figure, you can see my source. But it is obvious that some transformation will fulfill the function of transportation of molecules, but it is not certain that integrin has the answer. So we might as well, based on the principle of relation, create an alternative solution. As told before, the name is transformer. Then looking for and creating manifold drug and treatment for cancer and also other diseases. We need to create a new molecule as drug for cancer. The atoms and the molecules are the following. You can see it yourself. So if we can build this new molecule, because we cannot take just one small part and put in, etc., etc. We need to replace the damaged part within the flows, and in a new transformer, so to say, who can multiply itself within the body. And if this is possible, then the flow will function again, and in the best of the worlds, it will cure cancer as well as other diseases.